Hi everyone, and welcome back to 80 Passione. Do you have with you a brolly? Because it's going to be a very rainy edition at Wimbledon, the most rainy in the last 15 years. It's not a coincidence that I'm wearing this grey shirt. More or less, the sky in United Kingdom is the same color. Has been a very rainy day. They cancel a lot of third and fourth matches on lateral courts. But of course, they started with the defending champion, world number one, on center court at 1:30 p.m. local time. There were more or less 7,500 spectators, the majority, not wearing a mask, so 50% of the full capacity. In the royal box, there were a lot of special guests, in particular members of the NHS, and it was quite touchy, when everyone was kind of standing up and giving a standing ovation, a round of applause to all of them. We could see Novak Djokovic walking on court with a massive smile. Novak as well yesterday during the pre-tournament conference said that he feels honored to play on this court, probably the most special, the sacred tennis court ever, where you walk on this green court with no sponsors, nothing, basically on the side, just to keep the tradition of this incredible sport. And also Novak Djokovic has so many records and achievements that he's chasing. He wants to become the fourth man in the Open era to win Wimbledon for 3 consecutive times, before Bjorn Borg, Pete Sampras and Roger Federer managed to do that. But let's rewind and start from the beginning. What can I say? It took only 2 hours for the defending champion to defeat the 19-year-old Jack Draper. At the beginning, everyone was quite curious. You could see the British young talent was quite emotional by the net, and probably everyone thought that the match would go quicker, but I have to say this lefty, quite tall, I think 1 meter 92 centimeters, produced a sensational first set that probably is going to remember for the rest of his life. In fact, he basically went on serve in the second game, and immediately he managed to save a break point. But in the third game, he was the first basically to get an early break due to a double fault of Novak Djokovic and 2 unforced errors. At that point, in the next 30 minutes, overall the first set was played in 37 minutes. The British player saved 7 break points, and he managed, to keep his serving game until the 10th game, when basically he won, dropping only a 15, and so he secured the opening set with the score of 6-4. At the same time, I don't know if you are aware, basically for this year, for the first time, all the players are in an hotel around the area of Westminster, so they can't rent houses like usually do. So this is due to this bubble that has been created because of the pandemic. And also, just before the match, they were mentioning that the championships were not played only in 3 occasions, during the First, the Second World War, and last year for the pandemic. But at that point, because we all know Novak Djokovic and how probably he's kind of getting additional motivation when he's 1 or 2 sets down, in the second, in the third and the fourth, he was simply amazing, simply sensational. If you consider that in the second set he lost only 3 points on serve, and he won the second set in 26 minutes with a score of 6-1 with 2 breaks. As well, he was keeping, himself very composed, very calm, and we had to wait basically the third game of the third set for hearing the famous, Djokovic scream for the first time. In particular, looking at his corner, this time Wimbledon, there is Goran Ivanisevic and no Vaida, like it happened at Roland Garros, and more or less the third set started again with Draper on serve. If in the first game he managed to win the game, even if he was a love 30 down after, like I said, in the third, unfortunately for him, Djokovic broke and as well got another break in the seventh game. And it was quite unique, the eighth game, when Novak went on serve and he won the set and that game with 4 consecutive aces. You could see a big smile on his face looking at Goran Ivanisevic. So probably, who knows, there is this kind of a competition between the two players. I have to say that since Ivanisevic joined his team, now Novak is overall a much more complete player, is very, very precise with his serve, probably not fast, but is finding a lot of angles, a lot of variations. Also, he was doing a lot of times serve and volley, and he was coming to the net much more often than usual. So if you imagine, already Novak is sensational from the baseline. If he's improving all of these compartment of shots, even by the net and on his serve, to be honest, I have no idea who is going to be able to stop him. Probably even if they call the entire Avengers, I don't know, Rod Laver, Bjorn Borg, Pete Sampras, they are not going to be able to stop him. He seems to me like a man on a mission. He's very, very confident, he's very, very relaxed, and he's very focused on these incredible basically goal that he's trying to achieve with his the fact of winning 4 consecutive Grand Slams in a calendar here. But just going back to the match, in the fourth set again, Draper was the first player on serve. He won the first game. It was basically a love game, as well the second for Djokovic, but once again Djokovic managed to break the British player in the third game on the third occasion. So after the set went very quick, and in just 25 minutes Djokovic could basically celebrate and win the 8th game to love. Overall, I think 25 aces for the world number one, who spent very good and nice words at the end on his interview, on-court interview after the match. He said, definitely Jack Draper deserves a big round of applause. He came here on court. I believe it was the first time that he played, a Grand Slam. So playing on center court against the world number one, the defending champion, someone already won 5 Wimbledons, is a great moment and something to be remembered. At this point, Novak Djokovic will wait to know his opponent in the second round. It might be Kevin Anderson, so in a rematch of that final of 2018. Like I said, I never, probably in the last 10 years, I have to say, experienced a moment when a player is so favorite and so dominant in terms of even the bookmakers consider Djokovic for sure a favorite, at least to reach the final. In terms of statistics, they say probably the final that they consider the most reliable to happen is the one against Medvedev, otherwise against Roger Federer, and the third against Matteo Berrettini. But like I said, either something unpredictable happens, otherwise I really can't see how Novak Djokovic is not going to win this Wimbledon, and so to level the number of Grand Slam to 20 like Roger Federer and Rafael Nadal. Like I said, they are playing now only on court number 1, so the 2 courts with roof, center court and court number 1. Stefano Tsitsipas started this match with the American Tiafoe. Like I said, we are going to have 2 very rainy weeks, fingers crossed, and I hope that the tournament at least is going to give us very interesting matches. That's all for today. Stay tuned, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and see you very soon.